The Europa League draw has concluded earlier this morning, at least earlier this morning for me. I had to wake up a little bit early to catch the draw. But Red Star is in Group H with AS Monaco, Ferencvaros, as well as Trabzonspor from Turkey. So we got a team in the French league, we got a team from the Hungarian league, and then we got a team from the Turkish league. So when we talk about AS Monaco, you go back a few seasons to when they had Kylian Mbappe, Bernardo Silva, Falcao, and all these players. That was kind of their coming out party, to say. And ever since then, they've produced young talent and they've sold young talent for a lot of money. And for the most part, they've kind of recuperated that money into the team and then tried to make it stronger. So in terms of this season, I should start from the end of last season. All they had to do was win their final match. I believe it was against Nantes, I think it was against Nantes or Lens last season, and they drew in the 96th minute. And then this season, they lost to PSV, so they had the lead up until the 89th minute, and this is for Champions League qualifying. So they had the lead up until the 89th minute. They conceded in injury time, and then they conceded in extra time. And that's how they got to the Europa League. They sold Strahinja Pavlovic to Salzburg for 7 million euros, just sparingly used in the two seasons that he was there, season and a half that he was there. Fabregas has left the club for Como in Serie B of the Italian league. Ben Yedder is still there. Volend up top, very formidable attacking force. Although Volland, he could be headed back to Germany from some of the rumors that are out there. They've added Minamino from Liverpool, who just never really worked out for them. And they also added Embolo from Borussia Mönchengladbach. So a very good team, really good blend of young and experienced talent. I think when we look at this group as a whole, I think AS Monaco will be the favorites to go through this tie. We'll still see what happens in terms of their transfer window. Like I said, there's still about 5-6 days left in the transfer window. So we'll see if they add any more players. If they sell any more players, like I said, Folland could be on his way back to Germany. I think there's some other players that they might get rid of. They added Sarr from Chelsea on loan. So it's a very, very good team. Like I said, I think by far the favorites to get out of this group. I think if Red Star could get anything out of the two matches against Monaco, I think it'd be great. Even a draw at home would be excellent for us. The team's value is 400 million, so that kind of tells you Red Star is at 61. Ferencvaros is at 43, and Trabzonspor is at 139 million, so that kind of shows you the value of the teams. Ferencvaros is a team that's had a really good run in the last 4 seasons. So the last 4 seasons in a row, they've had European football. They had a Champions League season, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. So they've kind of made their way back to European football and representing their country to their best abilities. In the last 18 group stage matches, they've only had 2 wins, but those 2 wins are against, I believe, Spartak Moscow and Bayer Leverkusen, which are 2 really good teams. And the one against Bayern was at home, and the other match they won away, actually. So, they might lose a lot, but they do have those 2 wins that they can kind of hang their hat on. They lost to Karabag in Champions League qualifying, and they went down to Europa League qualifying, where they beat Shamrock. I believe it was 5-1 on aggregate in the 2 matches. They have Adama Traore, who's been great for them in the qualifying stages. Scored a lot of goals. He has some assists. Red Star is familiar with him from Sheriff last season. After Sheriff beat Red Star, Adama Traore scored 2 goals, I believe, against Dinamo Zagreb. And then they later on went to the Champions League, where he scored another 2 against Shakhtar Donetsk and Inter. So he had another 2 goals. So very balanced team. They haven't spent as much money this season as opposed to last few years. A lot of their older players have been released or they're out of contract. They recuperated some of the money. They brought in some players, but they haven't spent as much as they have in the past. again, in terms of what to expect from this, I think it's going to be a really good atmosphere in Hungary because of how close Hungary and Serbia are. So I expect a lot of Serbian fans to travel to Hungary, and I expect a lot of Hungarian fans to travel to Serbia. I think it's going to be a very good tie in both the matches. I expect Red Star to win at home, and then I would expect us to win away as well. Depending on the mental state of this team that we have going forward. Again, there's 6 days left. We'll see what Red Star does in the transfer window as well. I think they still need to add a few pieces going forward, most notably a right back, center forward, and if we could get a defensive midfielder, I think that needs to be done as well. So we'll see what happens in these last few days in the transfer window, but we need to bolster our squad as well because none of these matches are going to be easy. This is Europa League. This is only one step below the Champions League. Like I said, a lot of these teams were already in Champions League qualifying. They got knocked out, and then they were, now they're in the Europa League. Trabzonspor, so they were eliminated by Copenhagen in the Champions League qualifying. Copenhagen is a team that Red Star beat, I believe it was 3 years ago now, to make it to the Champions League in dramatic fashion on penalties. Excellent tie, but only if you're a neutral. It had heart attack written all over it if you're a Red Star fan or a Copenhagen fan. It's one of the hardest places to play. And when you talk about Turkish teams, you talk about Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, all these teams, very difficult away matches. Besiktas as well. All very difficult away matches. Rocking crowd, rocking atmosphere. Copenhagen was able to get a win over there and advance to the Champions League. And Trabzonspor has splashed the cash this summer. So they brought in Trezeguet from Aston Villa, not the other Trezeguet, who retired a long time ago. Enes Bardi, they've spent 3 million on. I believe he played for Levante. They brought in Marc Bartras, a former Barcelona academy player. So they spend a lot of money, as do a lot of Turkish teams. You know, we often see Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, and Besiktas kind of throwing their money around and bringing in players. And I mean, like, they bring in players, 7-8 million on transfers, something that's totally, I think, normal in Turkey. And they have even the clubs that are like in the middle of the pack, they spend 4 or 5 million on transfers. So not very unusual, so to say, from Turkish teams to spend money. But I think Trabzonspor is looking to do something in this Europa League. There's also rumors that they want to bring in Rafinha and Tuanzebe from Manchester United. So we'll see what happens with those transfers. Again, there's still 5-6 days left in the transfer window. Still time to do some business. We'll see what they end up doing. Marek Hamšík for them is injured. And Visca from the Bosnian international is also injured. So we'll see how that goes along and how, if they participate in the Europa League. I think Hamšík will play in the Europa League, and Visca looks like he's out until, I think, November. So with a broken hand. So we'll see what happens there. But I think that they have high ambitions. And from what I've read, they do spend a lot of money, but a lot of their players do come because of the financial, the money that they're going to get on a yearly or monthly basis. So we'll see how they do. I think for them, honestly, not advancing past the group stage, I think that's not what they're looking for. I think they're looking to advance. So it's pretty much, Monaco, I think, who's going to get by. And then Ferencvaros, Red Star, and Trabzonspor fighting for that number 2 spot. It's definitely going to go down to the wire. Last match day, I think, is going to be crazy in this group. I give, depending on, I think, what Red Star can do and the points that they could get from Monaco, if they could get any, I think that's key. I think they have to get all 6 from Ferencvaros, and then Trabzonspor, if they could get 4, that gets them up to 10-11 points. I think that should be enough to get them past the group. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's, like I said, it's exciting. There's a lot of teams who spend money, like I said, Ferencvaros from Hungary. Maybe a lot of people don't know, but they spend a lot of money for transfers. Trabzonspor, I already said. Monaco exports a ton of young players, and they try to recuperate their team to the best of their abilities, and they do have a good youth academy. So going forward, we'll see what happens. Like I said, Monaco is the favorite, and I think you have 3 pretty damn good teams fighting to go through as that second team in the group.